Okay, we play a little game of If You Only Knew. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Carrie Fisher.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Biggest risk I ever took? Oh my goodness. Studying drama, I guess, you know.
When was the first time you realized you were famous?
Somebody came up to me in the street and said hello, and it was overwhelming and surprising.
Person from history you'd like to portray on screen?
That is a great question. Oh man, I would need to cogitate over a long period in a history book to come up with an answer for that. Maybe someone from music history, maybe a Beatle or something. John Lennon, maybe, you know, that'll be fun.
Bad. First non-Hollywood job?
Oh, I was a lifeguard at a public swimming baths in Gloucester in England.
Were you good?
I never had to go in. I think that's the equivalent of never having to draw your weapon. I never had to actually go into the pool, but I policed it with maximum intensity.
What's your least favorite part about Hollywood?
The kind of superficiality of it sometimes. You know, you sometimes feel like you're being talked up by people who just want something from you. I've had a good experience, I think, overall, and the people I've met have been surprisingly nice. You expect worse, I think.
What animal do you wish you could talk to?
My dogs. Oh, I wish I could talk to my dogs.
Do you wonder what they're thinking?
All the time. I think I know what they're thinking. They've got very expressive faces, but yeah, you've got to wonder what they're thinking. They have it easy.
Absolutely true. What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Identify the thing that you love to do and then try and do that for a living. That's what I always tell my daughter. You know, find whatever it is. Try and do the thing you love doing, your hobby. Try and do that as your job.
That's what I've done for 61 years.
There you go.
It has not worked. It's not worked.
I thought you said it's not worked. I'm like, what do you mean, Larry? Larry King.
This is not work. Come on.
I know, exactly. I feel the same way.
What's the worst piece of advice you ever got?
There are so many answers to that question. Probably wear those shoes. Not these. These are nice ones.
Action scene from Mission Impossible Fallout that gave you the most anxiety?
Larry, I can honestly say most days there was anxiety. The helicopter sequence, because you can't stall a helicopter. If a helicopter stalls, it drops, you know. And the things that Tom was going to be doing were clearly very, very dangerous. And when we left Tom and Henry and Chris in New Zealand to complete that sequence, Rebecca Ferguson and I were genuinely a little teary, because it was like, well, see you then. You know, we didn't know if we'd see them again. So that was a stressful day.
An amazing scene.
It's incredible. It's a wonder they did it, though.
How long does that take?
I think it took about 2 or 3 weeks to pick up that whole sequence.
Unbelievable.
It really is.
That people up there flying, looking.
Oh yeah, and then there's there's the pursuit copter. There's the 2 copters that are in the shot. I mean, there were like 10 or 12 helicopters in play at any one time. It was. McHugh sent me a clip from the video monitor of Tom just hanging on to the cargo bag, just like same old, same old.
You won't believe it, but that's one of the great scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Things we Americans get wrong about British culture.
Our teeth aren't as bad as they used to be. I think we've taken a leaf out of the American dentistry book. I don't know, that we're all sort of faintly posh and intelligent.
Everyone thinks if you're Briton, you're intelligent.
It's crazy, I know. Oh well.
Thing the Brits get wrong about America.
That you don't get irony. That seems to be a constant thing, is like, oh, they don't get irony. The American sense of irony is incredibly sophisticated. The reason that misconception comes about is because you don't use it socially as much as we do, because you're not as ashamed of your emotions as we are. So Americans are slightly more open. They're more inclined to clap and cheer and smile and emote, whereas we're so ashamed of ourselves that we constantly undercut our feelings with sarcasm. And that's why that myth arises.
Place we'd find you on a day off?
Home.
What's the biggest misconception about Simon Pegg?
That I live, eat, and sleep and breathe science fiction and stuff like that.
Best memory from the set of Mission Impossible?
Oh, Possibly, if I had to pick, maybe the Paris days when we were driving the speedboat through the canals and the lights were shining down, and it was so cinematic just being there.
Did they clear the whole river?
Yeah, they gave us the river. Paris were incredible. They gave us the sky and the streets and the river, and they'd never done that for any film, and they probably won't do it again. They were just very keen for people to see Paris as being the beautiful place that it is. It wasn't long after the Bataclan attacks, and I think they felt like they wanted to give Paris back in a very visual sense.
If not acting, then what?
I think I might be doing like special effects makeup. I'm quite friendly with Greg Nicotero, who is the EP on The Walking Dead, and he does all the zombies, and I've always loved all that stuff.
Simon Pegg in 10 years.
I hope so.
That's right, just be here. Never miss a beat. Subscribe to Larry King now and watch new episodes every day.